Okay, good morning, everyone. So our topic for today will be solving for non-exact differential equations. So we have a technique for this one. We're going to use an integrating factor. Okay, so once we multiply this non-exact equation by an integrating factor, um, the equation will be an exact equation. So, yan. There are two ways para ma-determine yung integrating factor, and that is by using formula and by inspection. So today, I'm going to explain to you or to discuss how to determine the integrating factor by formula. Okay, and we are going to solve a non-exact DE and make it exact, and then we are going to use yung shorthand method in solving for that exact equation. Okay, so again, so for a DE that is a non-exact DE, yan, ito yung form natin, mdx plus ndy, and we let I be the integrating factor. Now, um, what we do para ma-determine natin kung exact ba yung equation is we utilize yung test for exactness, right? No, na-recall niyo pa yung testing for exactness na um, dapat yung partial derivative ni m with respect to y should be equal to partial derivative of n with respect to x. If na-meet itong condition na to, the equation is exact. Okay? So what if hindi siya, after we determine the partial derivatives, we found out na hindi equal. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya exact. Okay? So what we will do is, we are going to find out kung ano yung appropriate na integrating factor para maging exact itong ating non-exact DE. Okay, so yun yung parang purpose. Tandaan niyo, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon may integrating factor para maging exact yung DE. So maaaring you can actually solve that DE by a different technique or method. Okay? Now, ito yung case number 1 natin. If we get the difference of the partial derivatives, di ba, nagawa na natin yung testing, so we have the value for the partial derivative of m with respect to y, and we have the value for the partial derivative of n with respect to x. Hindi equal. So ang gagawin natin is we get the difference. Okay? Yung partial derivative ni m minus with respect to partial derivative of n. Of course, following kung ano yung mga um, independent variables na involved dyan. So, okay. Pag nakuha na natin yung difference nila, we divide that by n. And if we divide this difference by n, tapos yung result niyan, add ko lang muna si Mr. Anot. Yeah. Special mention. Shout out to you. Yeah. Now, after we got the difference, divide natin by n, dapat yung lalabas dyan is a pure function of x. Tandaan na, pure function of x. Then yung formula na gagamitin natin will be e raised to the integral of f of x dx. Okay? Yun yung formula natin na gagamitin. Just like, diba, dun sa linear equation. Now, kapag kinuha natin yung difference at we divide that by m, and then yung result is a function of y, then we utilize this formula. I is equal to e raised to negative, tandaan na, negative of the integral g of y dy. Now, magtanong kayo, sir, bakit negative? Okay, tandaan niyo 'di ba, um, same lang yung order kumbaga or yung format ng ating pagkuha ng difference. Magiging positive lang to kapag interchange natin yung positions nila. Okay, na yung mauuna muna yung partial derivative ni n with respect to x minus partial of m with respect to y. Okay? So medyo nakakalito lang yun kapag dalawa yung parang basis mo for the difference. So mas maganda na isa na lang na format, kumbaga. Unahin muna natin, yung unang term natin will be partial of m with respect to y. Tapos yung pangalawang term, so minus, yan. Yung isa-subtract natin is partial of n with respect to x. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon? So yun na lang yung magiging order natin. And then, magiging negative lang yung ilalagay mo doon na sign sa integrating, sa exponent. Okay? So yun lang yung magiging dapat mong tandaan dito sa part na to. Kung gusto mo maging positive to, edi i-interchange mo lang sila. Kung ano yung result nito, kung negative man yan, edi yeah, you just follow the whatever sign yung meron yung function na to. Okay, so ito yung gagamitin na formula. May tanong kayo? Baka curious kayo. So, paano natin malalaman na m or n ang di-divide natin? So, di ba nasagi sa isip niya yan? Paano kaya? Yan parang complicated naman.
Ito yung po yung tanong ko sa akin.
Okay. Yung tanong mo? Great. So, yun yung dapat magandang tanong, di ba? So paano na ba natin malalaman na n, ano ba yung n na to? N is an expression actually, guys. Tsaka yung m is, ito yun, yung coefficient. M is coefficient ni dx and n is coefficient ni dy. So, kumbaga yung entire expression na yung divide natin. So, makikita mo naman, pag nakuha mo yung difference, tapos of course, you have to take note kung ano yung n tsaka yung m. Okay. Kung i-divide ko ba yung n dun sa mismong difference, lalabas ba na pure, parang ano siya, somehow parang trial and error siya, pero makikita mo naman actually sa expression na, okay, pag divide ko yung n, ang kalalabasan niya pure function of x. So, yun yung tama. Tandaan niyo ha, n. Ano ba yung n? N is coefficient ni dy. Okay, tandaan ha. So, yung parang patandaan natin, n is part ni dy. Okay, y. So, ibig sabihin, kapag dinivide mo yung difference by y, so parang tinatanggal mo dun yung y sa mismong difference na yun. So, dapat ang lalabas lang dun is constant or pure function of x. Na-gets niyo ba yung point ko? Di ba, n, coefficient ni dy. So, y siya na part. Okay? So, kapag dinivide mo si n, tinatanggal mo kumbaga yung expression, yung mga variables na y na involved dyan. Okay? Ngayon naman, m. M is coefficient ni dx. So, isipin mo lang m is x, di ba? Function of x. So, pag divide mo yung m dun sa difference, so tinatanggal mo kumbaga yung expression na mayroong x or expression na or function of x. So, ano dapat yung matitira dun? Constant or function of y? Na-gets di ba yung idea? So, dinidivide mo kasi gusto mong i-cancel, di ba? Gusto mong i-cancel dito yung x. So, ang matitira is y. Gets? N, part siya ni dy. Y. Gusto mo makancel yung y. So, dapat lalabas is x.
Sa
Okay?
Gets
example,
po.
Gets? Yung point.
example
Tandaan nyo lang lagi, m dx, n dy. Pag dinivide si m, tinatanggal mo, kinakancel mo yung x, y yung lalabas. Pag divide si n is part ni y, or ni dy, kinakancel mo yung y, lalabas x. Gets?
yes sir.
Okay, I hope
Opo,
you
sir.
understand. So ito yung formula na gagamitin. Same na formula dun sa linear. Okay, same lang na formula. Pero kapag m ang dinivide mo, function of y ang lalabas, negative yung sa exponential function. Okay? Sige, mas maganda mag-solve tayo ng problem. Actually, simple problem lang tong um, first example natin. Lahat naman simple. Okay. Okay, example number 1. Solve x dy plus y dx equal to x times y dx. Okay, so this is a first order differential equation. Now, we are going to arrange this in a form na m dx plus n dy. Okay, so what we will do is we transpose this part of the equation dito sa left-hand side. Okay, pagsamahin natin, yung dx. So, if we transpose this here, magiging y minus xy times dx plus x dy equal to 0. Tama ba? So pag transpose ko to, magiging negative siya, right? So y minus xy, let's factor out dx. So this is dx plus x dy. So now this is in the form na m dx plus n dy equal to 0. Okay? Okay? Yan. So yung m natin is what? Y minus xy. Ano yung ating n? N is equal to x. Okay? Now, what we will do is we take the partial derivatives. Yan, yun yung unang step natin. So take the partial derivative of m with respect to y. So pag ganun, x is held constant. Okay, so we take the partial derivative of this with respect to y, and that is 1. And this term will be, copy mo lang yung constant, then differentiate y with respect to y, and that is 1. So the answer is 1 minus x. Okay, so now, so obviously, di ba, pag tinake mo yung partial derivative ni n with respect to x, the answer here will be 1. Okay, what have you noticed? Hindi sila equal. So, ibig sabihin, this differential equation is non-exact. Okay, or this is not exact DE. Okay, anong gagawin natin, sir? So, we take the difference. Yan. So, we can actually make this an exact equation once we have, determined that integrating factor. Okay? Now, gagawin lang natin is we take the difference muna. So, partial of m with respect to y minus partial of n with respect to x. So, ang gagawin ko dito, hindi ko muna ilalagay. I will not be putting the formula na 1 over n ba siya or 1 over m. So, nakadepende doon sa difference. Nakuha nyo yung idea? Huwag nyo munang lalagay yung kung ano di-divide mo. So, here, you have 1 minus x. Okay. Tama. 1 minus x minus this partial derivative, and that is 1. Okay? So, anong result, guys? 1 minus 1, 0. So, negative x. Okay. So, negative x yung result niyan. Ngayon, ano yung appropriate na i-divide natin? Okay, kung minus x siya. So, syempre, kung m ang i-divide ko, makakancel ko ba yung y? Makakancel ko ba yung x?
Yes
Ha?
po.
Apo.
No, sir.
Pag m ang i-divide ko dito, kasi pag m ang i-divide ko, kanya-cancel ko yung x, matitira dapat y.
Ay.
Okay? Pag n ang i-divide ko dito, kina-cancel ko yung y, ang matitira is x. Okay? So, tingnan natin Yan. Di ba n is y, di ba? Ganun. M is x. So, parang imposible naman, di ba? Na kapag divide mo to y minus x times y. So, andun pa rin. Andun yung dalawang variables na x and y. So, wala. Okay. Tandaan niyo kapag constant, constant can be, a function of x or function of y. Okay. So, ito, mas simple siya, di ba? So, 1 over n ang di-divide natin. So, we divide this term by n, which is x. So, sige, kunin natin. Negative x over x, and that is negative 1. So, negative 1 yung sagot natin dun. And anong mangyayari dyan, guys? 1 is a pure. When we divide the difference by n, the result should be a function of x. Okay, so itong 1 na to, this is a function of x. Okay, clear? So now we determine the integrating factor. So integrating factor will be e raised to the integral of f of x times dx. And our f of x is equal to what? Negative 1. Okay, you can see this one. And I is equal to e raised to negative, plug in mo dyan, negative 1 integral of dx. So the integrating factor is e raised to negative x. Okay? Now, what's the next step? Okay. I'll erase this first. Now that we have the integrating factor, we multiply this dE by the integrating factor. Yun na yung next step. And then that will be an exact na. So y minus xy dx plus x dy equal to 0. We multiply the entire equation by e raised to negative x. Okay, so this becomes e raised to negative x. Y minus x times y dx plus e raised to negative x times x dy equal to 0. Yan. Pwede mo namang i-test, di ba? Sir, yan, bago natin i-solve, kasi ito pwede natin gamitin yung shortcut. Okay? Sige. Titest pa ba natin? Ha? Kung exact ba talaga siya. Once i-multiply natin yung e raised to negative x. Okay, well actually, kahit hindi mo man ipakita yung testing for exactness, lalabas talaga siya na magiging equal yung partial derivatives. Partial derivative ni m with respect to y is equal to partial derivative of n with respect to x. So kapag hindi ka sure sa mismong um, um, integrating factor mo, tapos tinest mo, pwede mo namang i-test, di ba? Para lang ma-verify mo. Okay. Well, anyway, so ayan, sure ako na ito ay exact TE na. Okay? Now, we are going to use yung shortcut instead of using side is. Now, yung first, ano bang shortcut natin? Diba? Integral of m dx. Okay? Integrate natin. We take note that y is held constant. Okay? And then we integrate this part n dy only, diba, dun yung term na walang x, okay, or without x equal to 0. Okay? So, tama. Y is held constant here. So, burahin ko na ulit. Sige. So, this one will be y integral of e raised to negative x dx. Nilabas ko lang yung y because y is held constant. And then minus, here you have y integral of x e raised to minus x dx plus. Ito, sabi nga, di ba, without x. So, 0 na kaagad tong part na to. Okay? So, cancel na to. E raised to minus x dy. Cancel na lang natin. Yan, without x equal to c. So, the answer to this one is e raised to negative x dx, integral nito. So, you have a neutralizing factor, di ba? So, kung yung u natin dito is negative x, your du should be negative dx. Positive ito. So, what you will do is you multiply negative here and then neutralize that by negative 1 outside. So, the answer to this one will be negative e raised to negative x times y. Okay? Direkta ko na. Okay, naintindihan niyo ba dito sa part? Yan. Kung mapapansin mo sa ibang mga problems na sinolve ko, hindi ko na masyadong dinidetalye pa yung sa integration ng part. Yan, dito na lang. Guys, mental na lang. Yung pag-introduce lang. Ayan. Pero kung hindi ka sanay doon, so pwede mo namang gawin, di ba? Substitute mo muna, di ba? Let u equal to minus x, so e raised to u, and then may negative ka dyan. Now, here naman, so you have x times e raised to negative x dx. So, yan. Integration by parts pag ganyan. So, madali lang din naman. Pwede mong gamitin yung shortcut, di ba? So, pag integration by parts, yan, u dv. Alam niyo ba kung paano yung shortcut, guys? Tinuro ko na ba yun sa inyo? Yan, di ba yung integration by parts, di ba integral of u dv is equal to the product u times v minus integral of v times du. Okay? So, dito, yung u natin, yun yung mga algebraic na mga functions lagi. Yan. So, x. Ano yung dv natin? Itong e raised to exponential, e raised to negative x times. Ayan. Kahit di mo nalagay yung dx dyan. Yung nasa left na part nitong ating graph, di-differentiate lang natin hanggang mag-0. Ito naman, integrate natin. Okay? Alam niyo ba to? So, differentiate mo lang. So, differentiate x, 1, differentiate 1, 0. Ibig sabihin hanggang, yun yung limit mo. Okay? Kapag exponential multiplied to trigonometric, hindi yan mag-zero yung ibang part dyan. So, yun yung case na uulit. So, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin itong shortcut. So applicable lang 'to 'pag algebraic functions multiplied to exponential, algebraic multiplied to trigonometric, 'yan gano'n. Algebraic multiplied to inverse trigo, ganyan. So integrate natin 'to, this will be may ano ka, neutralizing factor ka. So negative e raised to negative x. Integrate ulit, so negative, negative maging positive siya. So e raised to negative x. Okay, ano yan sir? 'Di ba pag integrate mo 'to, magiging v. Ito yung v niya. So ito yung partner. U times, yeah, u times v. Yan, minus integral. Kaya yung sign dito is, sorry, kita ba? Yan, so plus, minus. Ganun kapag ka nag-introduce tayo. So, u times v, yan, positive siya. So, minus x e raised to negative x. And then here, 1 times e raised to negative x is e raised to negative x times negative. So, that is minus e raised to negative x. Okay? Equal to, ayan, may y ka pa pala dito. Huwag mong kalimutan ha. So, yan, times y. So, itong,
Sir, nag-stutter na po yung
yes,
mic niyo po. Hindi na po ano.
Yung mic niyo po.
negative 2, tapos may negative pa yan dito. Sorry, sorry. Ayan. Yan ba yung tinutukoy mo?
Sir, yung mic niyo po hindi na po maintindihan.
Yung mic po.
Okay, so we're back. So pasensya na, nagkaroon tayo ng technical issue. I hope na okay na yung audio. So let's continue. Let's proceed to finding for the solution of this first order DE. Okay, so please let me know again kapag nagkaroon ng problem with the audio para restart natin, okay, or maayos natin yung pag-present ng solution. So here, I have I have dealt with, this integral. Ayan, so ginamit natin yung shortcut or parang yung technique dun sa pagkuha ng integral using integration by parts na kapag algebraic function multiplied to exponential. Yan, so you can actually utilize this technique. And yan, algebraic multiplied to trigonometric function. So pwede mong gamitin. Pero kapag exponential multiplied to trigonometric, exponential multiplied to yeah, in inverse trigo. So hindi applicable itong formula na to. Okay? So you use this um, formula. Now we copy this negative y kasi ito yung integral na kinuha natin, 'di ba? So we just plug in here yung naging result natin dito. So minus y. In here, so yung product ng u times v, this is 1x times negative e raised to negative x. So we copy that. So minus x e raised to negative x. And then you multiply this one. So 1 times e raised to negative x, that is e raised to negative x times negative. Yan yung sign natin, di ba? So minus e raised to negative x. Okay? Equal to, this one is 0. So may constant tayo. Okay? Nasundan ba?
Opo.
Wala namang problem
Opo,
sa
wala po.
audio. Ayan, so medyo naging hesitant na tayo
Opo,
mag-proceed.
sir.
Okay, burahin ko na muna to and then we, of course, arrange our final answer. So, yeah. We're almost, there dun sa ating final answer. Ayusin muna natin. So this will be what? E and minus e raised to negative x, y. Distribute natin to. So you have plus, yan, x times y, e raised to negative x. The negative times negative, you have plus y, e raised to minus x equal to, ayan, c. Okay. So pwede naman natin tong ma-eliminate, di ba, yung or we could factor out e raised to minus x. Yan. Since general solution na rin naman ito, di ba? So we can actually arrange that one. So we multiply both sides by e raised to, yan, positive x. Yan. So removing this one, so magiging minus y plus xy. This will be Okay. May nakaka-cancel, 'di ba? Sorry. Kita niyo ba? May nakaka-cancel. Or tama ba 'yan? Yeah, you can cancel this one. Mhm. So the answer to this one is, yeah, okay. Nga pala. So na-cancel na siya. And then we multiply this. So magiging x times y equal to c e raised to x. Okay, so that's it. Yan yung solution natin dun sa first problem. Ayan. Problem natin is x dy plus y dx equal to x times y dx. Okay, any question before we proceed to the next example? Let's continue. So our example number 2 is solve 2xy squared minus 2y yan, times dx plus 3x squared y minus 4x yan, times dy equal to 0. So a first order differential equation. And we don't know yet, di ba, kung ito ay exact equation. So we are going to test the DE for exactness. Okay? At masasabi ko naman na hindi naman to homogeneous because yan, pag sabi natin homogeneous, kailangan yung degree ng bawat term ay the same. Right? So ito, degree 3, 1, 3, 1. So yeah, linear ba siya? So hindi siya linear because may y squared ka dito, may x squared ka dyan. And so yun na talaga, di ba? So we are going to test the DE for exactness. Okay? And kapag nakita natin na hindi equal yung partial derivatives, that DE will still be, um, pwede natin siya ma-transform into an exact DE once that we have that integrating factor. Okay? Okay, we are going to write first, nakaayos naman siya into the format na mdx plus ndy, right? So ang m natin, our m is 2xy squared minus 2y. Okay, we are going to get the partial derivative. So partial derivative of m, since m is the coefficient of dx, so we differentiate this with respect to y. Okay, and x is held constant, so we just copy 2x. We differentiate y squared, and that is 2y. The second term will be what? Differentiating this with respect to y. So we have minus 2. See, ayusin natin. This will become what? 4xy minus 2. So let's see if the partial derivative of m with respect to y, kung equal ba siya dun sa partial derivative ni n. Okay, n, kopyahin muna natin. This is 3x squared y minus 4x. Okay, we take the partial derivative of n with respect to n is the coefficient of dy, so we differentiate with respect to x. Okay, so equal yan. Sa y is held constant, so we just copy 3y. So 3y, differentiate natin yung x squared, and that is 2x. We differentiate minus 4x, and that will give us minus 4. So pag inayos natin, the partial derivative of n with respect to x is actually equal to 6xy minus 4. So as you can see, their partial derivatives are not equal. So hindi siya exact. Yan. Not equal. So therefore, this is not exact. Okay, so what we will do is, yeah, we try to take the difference, and then if possible na pag dinivide natin yung m, dapat ang lalabas dyan is a pure function of y. Pag dinivide natin si n, we are canceling, di ba, y. Dapat pure function of x ang lalabas. So we'll see later. So we take the difference. Partial of m with respect to y minus partial of n with respect to x. So again, di ko muna isusulat ko anong i-divide ko, kung n ba or m. Get the difference first. So we copy this one, 4xy minus 2, and minus this term here, itong expression na to. This is 6xy minus minus magiging plus 4 ito. Okay. Now, if you take the difference, so 4x minus 6xy, this is negative 2, what? Negative 2xy minus 2 plus, yeah, plus 4 is positive 2. Okay, so ito na yung difference nila, minus 2xy plus 2. Now, take a look at yung m and n natin. So, kung ano yung possible na pwedeng ma-divide natin. So, ito, yung m natin, uy, 2xy squared minus 2y. So, factorable dito yung, sige, try natin i-factor yung y. So, this will become y times, this is 2xy minus 2. So, one of the factors there is 2xy minus 2. Ito, ano napansin niyo? 2xy, factor natin dito yung negative, yeah, negative sign. So, equal yun, di ba? 2xy minus 2. Tara! Okay, yung 2 pwede mo namang i-factor out yan. Ito, so, x yung factorable dito. Okay? And yung coefficients, di ba, 3 and 4. So, hindi posible na i-divide natin siya with n. Kasi pag divide mo si n, you're canceling y, dapat pure function of x ang lalabas. In this case, so dalawa pa rin yung variables na makikita mo doon kapag divide mo si n. Now, if we divide m, so 1 over m, we will divide m is what? We just copy the factored form na. So y times 2xy minus 2. Ayan. Ayan. Ayusin na lang natin para hindi magulo dun sa ating solution. Okay. So, copying ko muna yung factor, guys. So, negative. Ayan. 2xy minus 2 divided by y. Ito yung m natin times 2xy minus 2. Ayan. Sabi natin, pag divide natin yung difference by m, we are canceling x. So, dapat ang lalabas dun is a pure function of y. Okay, ano lumabas? Cancel natin to. At totoo nga, sir, no? Ang lumabas is negative 1 over y, a pure function of y. Okay? Andiyan pa ba kayo? Clear ba yung audio ko?
Opo.
So negative 1 over y. So dahil dyan, ano yung formula na gagamitin? So we're going to use integrating factor will be e raised to negative. Yan, kapag function of y siya. Negative integral of g of y. Yan, g lang ginamit natin para to represent the function of y times dy. Pwede namang f of y. Yan. Okay, we just copy. I-plug in natin yung value ni g of y here. So, e raised to negative. Ayan. So, integral of negative 1 over y times dy. Yan. Factor out natin yung negative. So, magiging positive siya. E raised to the integral of dy over y. And that will be e raised to ln of y. E raised to ln is equal to, yan, to this integrating factor. Ito na, y. Tada! Ayos ba? So yun yung kanyang
Ayos.
integrating factor. Yun yung hinahanap natin na factor na i-multiply natin sa mismong equation para maging exact equation siya. Okay? Okay, so now we multiply the equation by this integrating factor. So y times 2xy squared minus 2y times dx, yan, plus 3x squared y minus 4x times dy, okay, equal to 0. So multiplying this equation by this integrating factor will make this an exact equation. So multiply natin to, magiging, yeah, 2xy cubed minus 2y squared dx plus here, so you have 3x squared y squared minus 4xy times dy equal to 0 times y is 0. Okay? Pag tinest mo yan, lalabas yan na equal yung partial derivative. So, di na natin gagawin yun. So, what we will do now is we do the integration. Okay? Okay, may function of x, may function of x, so we can actually eliminate this part. Ito na lang gagawin natin. Diba? So, we integrate this one. Y is held constant, so y cubed integral 2 is also constant, diba? Integral of x dx. This will be factored out. So 2y squared integral of dx. At itong term na to will be 0 kasi parehong may function of x yan, di ba? So c. So copy lang natin. This will become 2y cubed x squared over 2. Power formula lang. Minus 2y squared integral ng dx is x equal to c. So makancel natin yung 2 dito. So this will become x squared y cubed minus 2xy squared equal to c. Can still simplify, di ba? Mas simplify pa natin to. Sige, okay na yan. Wala pa lang. Constant. Okay, so the answer is x squared y cubed minus 2xy squared equal to c. That's it. Galing. Our next equation is Bernoulli's differential equation. So ano ba yung format or ano ba yung yung equation ng Bernoulli's? Ano yung form niya? So this is actually dy over dx plus p as a function of x times y equals q as a function of x times y raised to n. So this is a generalized case of a linear equation of order 1. Okay, bakit ako nasabi na generalized case? So take a look at this equation. Kung wala itong y raised to n na to, di ba linear siya in y? No? So dahil sa merong y raised to n dito, so yun yung naging palatandaan natin na distinct yung equation na to from linear. So yung technique natin or the method para ma-solve yung Bernoulli's equation is to make this a linear equation. So paano gagawin yun, sir? So we are going to remove this y raised to n. So may substitution. So ang gagawin tayo. So paano natin matatanggal tong y raised to n? The first step is, yung kanyang reciprocal. Tama ba? Yeah. So dy over dx plus p as a function of x times y equal to q as a function of x y raised to n. So the first step is we multiply the entire equation by y raised to negative n or 1 over y raised to n. Okay, so nagawin ko na lang y raised to negative n. Same lang naman yun. Y raised to negative n is equal to, yan, para lang sa kalaman niyo, 1 over y raised to n. Yan, so yun yung gagawin natin. So yun yung first step. And what will happen now? So meron na tayong y raised to negative n dito, dy over dx plus here, anong mangyayari dito? So still, andyan pa rin yung function of x natin, p as a function of x. Audio check, naririnig pa rin?
Opo, sir.
Good.
Opo.
So y raised to 1, tama? Multiplied by this 1 sa magiging 1 minus n. Nakuha? Pag pinagsama mo sila, same base, different exponents, so you can actually add them. So 1 minus n equal to q as a function of x. So natanggal na yung y raised to n dun sa right-hand side of the equation. Okay, so now the next step is we do substitution. Okay, anong gagawin natin? We let a new variable, yan, z. So ibang books ang ginagamit nila, v or u. Yan, ako ang ginagamit ko, z. Okay, so let z be equal to this one. Yan. Y raised to 1 minus n. Tapos kunin ko yung differential. So dz is equal to what? This will be 1 minus n. So this will become y raised to 1 minus n minus, ano ba? Sa pag-differentiate, guys, minus 1, no? Alam niyo yun? Pag nag-differentiate ka yung sa chain rule, yung power formula pala sa differentiation. So, itong exponent na to, multiply mo to sa y raised to 1 minus n minus 1. Tama?
1
Times
po.
dy. So, yung sagot dito will be 1 minus n. Tandaan yung n na yan is any integer. Okay, yung n is an integer. Pwedeng negative, pwedeng positive, yun yung value ni n. So 1 minus n y raised to negative n dy. Okay, ito na yung equivalent ni dz. Sige, isulat natin. So ibig sabihin, dz is equal to 1 minus n y raised to negative n times dy. So ano yung next na step natin? So ang tayo, 'di ba? Nag-let tayo ng variable c to represent what? Y raised to 1 minus n. I-plug in na natin dito kung ano yung mga applicable, 'di ba? So ito meron kang y raised to negative n dy dyan. So ibig sabihin, if we divide both sides by 1 minus n, itong y raised to negative n dy is equal to what? 1 over 1 minus n times dz. Okay? So we plug in now in this equation itong bagong variable na z and then its differential. Ito yon. Kailangan ang lalabas dyan is variable z and function of x na lang. Okay? That's the idea sa substitution. Para maging linear siya. And what's the next step? May space pa ba tayo? So i-plug in natin dito. So y raised to negative n dy is equal to what? Ito nga, di ba? So 1 over 1 minus n, kita ba? dz over dx. Here you have plus p as a function of x. This one will become z. So equal to q as a function of x. Ayan na siya, di ba? Linear in z na siya, provided na wala na yung 1 over 1 minus n dyan. So gagawin lang natin is we multiply both sides by yan, 1 minus n para maging linear siya. Kasi dapat yung coefficient ni dz over dx dyan is positive 1. So this will be dz over dx. I hope kita pa yan. Plus, so you have 1 minus n, p as a function of x times z equal to 1 minus n. Tandaan, wala nang problema sa n kasi n is an integer. Yan, q as a function of x. So there you go. Yun yung ating linear equation, linear in the variable z. Yan, linear in z. Okay, time check. 11:20, so we can solve one problem. May tanong, guys? Okay, solve the equation dy over dx plus 3 times y over x equals x raised to 4 times y raised to 3. So as you can see, this equation is Bernoulli's differential equation. Bakit? Because of this y raised to 3. Yeah, this makes the equation distinct from linear because of that y raised to 3 there. So nagagawin natin, we are going to make this linear equation in Bernoulli's by removing first yung y raised to 3 there. Okay, so solution. Just checking kung naka-on yung recording. Now, so dy over dx plus 3 over x times y equals x raised to 4 y cubed. We are going to multiply both sides of the equation or the entire equation by y raised to negative 3 or 1 over y raised to positive 3. So pwedeng ganon. Now this will become y raised to negative 3 dy over dx. Okay, are you still there? Because I'm here.
Yeah.
Plus 3 over x. Y times y raised to negative 3. Anong mangyayari? 1 minus 3 sa exponent. Magiging y raised to minus 2. Okay? Nasundan? Kung bakit
Yes, sir.
naging negative 2, baka kami magtanong pa dyan. 1 minus
Yes,
negative
sir.
3 is minus 2 equals x raised to 4. Tandaan na yung right-hand side mo is a pure function. Okay? In this case, pure function of x. So, ang gagawin lang natin to make this linear, we are going to let a new variable z equal to this, y raised to negative 2, and then differentiate this one dz equals negative 2 y raised to, bawasan yan, di ba? So magiging minus 3 dy. Okay? Kasi yung idea dyan is, we're going to replace this one. Itong nasa unang term. Now, nakita natin, di ba mo, yung y raised to negative 3 dyan. So divide both sides by negative 2. This will become what? Negative dz over 2 is equal to y raised to negative 3 dy. Now, you plug in here yung mga values na to. So you have negative 1 half dy over dx. I don't know. Sorry, dz na kasi siya, di ba? So itong part na to, ayan, naging, ito na siya. Negative dz over 2. Nasundan? Second term naman is 3 over x. Ano nangyari sa y raised to negative 2? That will become variable z equals x raised to 4. Ayan. So we are going to put this equation into standard form kasi linear na nga siya. So paano maging standard form yan, sir? Tanggalin mo lang yung negative 1 half dyan sa first term natin. So by multiplying both sides of the equation by negative 2 will make this linear in z. Naka-standard form na siya. So continue natin dito yung ating solution. So this will become dz over dx. Here, this will become minus 6, diba? Minus 6 over x times z equals, this will become minus 2x raised to 4. Yan, linear in z na siya. Sulat natin, linear in the variable z. So napansin mo, ano yung ating p as a function of x dyan? This is negative 6 over x. Ano yung q as a function of x natin? Yung nasa right-hand side, di ba? So it's negative 2x raised to 4. Okay? Nasundan, guys? So, bakit ko inayos ng ganito? Because I'm going to determine the integrating factor. E raised to integral of p as a function of x times dx. And the integrating factor will be e raised to negative 6 integral of dx over x. And this will become, yeah, e raised to negative 6 ln of x, or the answer to this one is, kailangan kapag nag-anti-ln ka dyan or simplify mo, kailangan 1 yan dito. So you put this as an exponent to the argument here ng logarithmic function. So this will become what? E raised to ln of x raised to minus 6. And this will become x raised to negative 6, or simply 1 over x raised to 6. Yeah, ay, 5 minutes, 6. Malapit na matapos. Anyway, sige. We now multiply this integrating factor sa ating standard form. Diba? So x raised to minus 6 multiply to this one. So dz over dx minus 6 over x times z equal to negative 2x raised to 4. Okay? So this becomes um, exact equation. Diba? Once you multiply the standard form ng linear equation by an integrating factor, magiging exact na siya. But we know that the left-hand side of um, the equation, yung solution nito will be the integrating factor, x raised to negative x times the dependent variable na z. Okay? And yung right-hand side naman natin will be yung product nitong q as a function of x and the integrating factor. Sige. So integral of, copyhin natin yan, minus 2x raised to 4. The integrating factor is x raised to minus 6 times dx plus the arbitrary constant c. So, ayusin natin. So this is negative 2. Pag pinagsama natin yan, this will become x raised to minus 2 dx plus c. By power formula, this will become negative 2 x raised to, so plus 1 ka dyan, negative 1 over negative 1 plus c. Okay? Diyan pa kayo? X raised to negative 6. Malapit na, guys. Don't worry. So this will become positive. So 1 over, yeah, may 2 ka pa dito pala. So you have 2 over x plus c. Okay, so that's it. Pero yung z natin, ano ba yung value ni z? Don't, yeah, don't forget yung z is equal to what?
Y raised to negative 2.
Y raised to negative 2. I-plug in mo ngayon yung tunay na value ni z. So this will become x raised to minus 6 times y raised to negative 2. Yan. Equals, yan, 2 over x plus c. Now, pag inayos natin to, yan, we'll make this positive na exponent. So, multiply the entire equation by x raised to positive 6. And this one will become times y raised to positive 2. So this becomes 1 equals, tanggal na rin isang x dito. So 2 x raised to 5 y raised to 2 plus c x raised to 6 y raised to 2. Okay? Or, kita ba? Or, ayusin natin. Yan, 2 x raised to 5. Yan, y raised to, pwede namang 1 minus 2 x raised to 5 y raised to 2. Right? And then, equals c x raised to 6 y raised to 2. Kung saan ka masaya, pwedeng pagsamahin sa lahat sila sa isang side ng equation. Okay? Any question here?
Sir, may question po.
Yes.
Sir, yung po bang pag nagle-let's say tayo,
Mm.
yung sa may operate sa question po, di po ba dy over dx plus, kapag po ba nag-let's say, kung minus po yung operation, i-carry over po ba yung kapag nag-let's say?
Pwedeng hindi. Mm. Yung negative yung gitna dito, kunyari. No? Tama ba? Intindi ko?
Opo sir, doon po.
Oh. Yan, pwede mong i-carry yung negative, pwedeng hindi rin. Pag hindi mo siya kinary, make sure na andun pa rin siya kapag nag-plug in ka na ng mga values. So parang the other way around. Okay, pero ginagawa ko
Ano
dati.
sir, ano sir ang mas maganda? I-carry over na para di siya makalimutan?
Pwede. Pero ang ginagawa ko, alala ko is, sinasama ko na yung negative. Para pang nag-plug in ako, positive yung nasa gitna. So, ganun lang.
Opo.
Okay.
Sige po sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Pero kahit alin man doon, maging careful ka lang din talaga. Okay? Sige guys.
Thank you po.
Thank you all for attending this class. So Thursday, I hope na matapos ko na yung grades niyo so I can be able to show you your midterm grades at makapag-usapan natin yung mga bagay-bagay. Okay, para makabawi.
Thank you po.
Yes, sir.
Baka man nanginginig
Thank
pa
you
si
po
Derek.
sir.
Thank you po, sir.